Let's talk about the news, which is that the vice president is going to sit down on Fox News. This was just announced by Fox News. It's going to happen on Wednesday. She's going to sit down with Bret Baier. According to Fox, it's her first formal sit-down interview on that network.
Wow.
Ever.
Right. She did not do it when she was running for president in 2019, briefly on the Democratic side, or as the sitting vice president, is significant. It's going to be in Pennsylvania. It shows one thing, that she is willing to take more risks because they believe that this is a deadlocked race on the margin, and she needs to do something to try and shake this up. It's also a sign of confidence in her, and that she has performed pretty well, most people agree, on 60 Minutes, on all of this batting practice that's been going on through podcasts and other things. But look, now is the time. People are going to be voting very soon. Some are, actually, millions are. And this is a sign that she is, again, we see so many lessons from 2016. I think this is yet one more example that they're putting everything out there. At the end of this, there's not going to be, oh, she didn't go to Michigan, she didn't go to Wisconsin, she didn't do this or that. They're doing everything. I think it's significant.
It's low-key a chess move because if you think about it, they're going to say that Trump basically didn't want to do any debate, and then she's going to go on Fox News like she's just, big and bad. But it's too late for that.
If she go in there and say the same transcript on Fox, they're going to tear her butt up.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see how that's going to go down.
Yep, that's tomorrow. I'm excited about that.
I'm very
That's
curious to see how that'll go down.
I'm going to say this is a plus because, this is our first ever time ever seeing her going in the enemy territory and actually, sit in the hot seat.
So she was vice president and never went to the opposing news outlet to basically, have a discussion or get an interview. That's absurd to me, man. That's her first time. I've seen Tulsi on CNN multiple times.
I've seen Byron and all them on CNN.
CNN,
JD, ABC.
Yeah, NSNBC.
Democrats don't typically go over to the other side. I've seen Tim Walz on Fox once. He kind of got cooked a little bit.
That just recently happened. Oh, he got destroyed. Let's see what happens. Hey, I think it's going to be worse.
To be honest with
Tim
you,
is better than her.
To be honest with you, she should not do that. She just pretty much gave up the election because how bad Fox have watched them attack Trump and fact check and all this stuff. I feel like Fox might OD with her personally. My personal opinion.
I'll be interested to see how it goes down. I think it's going to be very interesting, especially now that Trump has rose to a 16.5 lead in the Polymarket poll. I think it'll be interesting to see how she does.
I think it makes sense because she needs to speak to working class swing voters, independents, Republicans who are still on the fence. I don't know if you heard from her director to 270, David Plouffe, this morning. He thinks they're still gettable. And if those are the persuadable voters, you got to get them where they are. And they're watching Fox News. The people, really MAGA type Republicans, they think Fox is too liberal. They really do. I know this because I know a few of them.
You know what?
So Fox is really a place for Nikki Haley land voters.
It's actually, I think there's a misconception about who watches Fox, right? And it's really a lot of different types of people that she might need to talk to.
Some Democrats
she might need to talk to.
I like Fox.
I was actually surprised that she's never done a Fox interview.
You know what was amazing to me about this is, she turned down the Fox News debate. They offered a debate, and she didn't want to do it. And now, with 3 weeks to go, we're scrambling over to Fox News because this campaign is in a full-blown panic. I do want to say a word about Bret Baier. Everybody seems to be crapping on him today. Bret Baier's one of the best journalists out there. He's going to ask her good questions. And if the 60 Minutes interview or The View or anything else she's done lately was hard for her, Bret Baier's going to put her through her paces. And so this is a dangerous thing because he's a real journalist who's going to ask real questions.
I don't know. Have people been attacking Bret? I feel like people have been generally praising him.
The algorithms work in mysterious ways.
One of the better Trump interviews he conducted. So there's that.
I think it's really smart. I agree that there could be voters to be had there. And just want to say to Scott that the Kamala Harris campaign is in no way in full-blown panic. She's doing exactly what everyone was saying she needs to do. She is now everywhere. What is it called? Everything, everywhere, all at once. That's what she's doing because that's what she can be doing, right? She is expanding the map in a way that I don't think people were expecting her to do. Right now, let's just look at her coalition. Her coalition is from Bernie Sanders and AOC to Dick Cheney.
Are you saying she put
that is the kind of spectrum that you expect from a campaign that is speaking to all American voters. And her message.
Hold on. The vice president. Hold on.
answer that question for you.
You said she's expanding the map?
North
Before
Carolina's
North
in
Carolina,
play.
Georgia,
North
those
Carolina's
states were
in
That's
not.
been on the map all year.
No.
Come on, guys.
North Carolina was not in play.
No, my
Come
friend.
on,
Come on.
guys.
Hold on.
Lord have
All
mercy.
right, share my question.
If the vice president, and we talked about this in the previous segment, if the campaign was doing so well, if she was so ahead in the polls, she would not be going on Fox News. She would not sit down with Bret Baier. I'm almost certain if I were a Democratic strategist, I would be very concerned about potentially putting my candidate on Fox News where she's asked a question where she
Not if you're
doesn't appear to
confident
be
about your-
well.
Hold on, we got a brother, Sir Michael, up here.
I like Shermichael.
Sir Michael.
Hold on.
Logical thinking,
sorry.
brother.
He was spitting some real talk.
Sir Michael
But
Singleton.
I would like to highlight the fact that I do think her polling is bad, and I think the media blitz is not doing well. I think her campaign is probably in a panic because the media blitz came after she avoided all media, and now that the Trump bad, Kamala good, Trump bad, Kamala good isn't working,
That phase is
and people aren't falling for the media rhetoric that Trump's so racist and bad, and the world's going to end if he's president. They're not falling for that because due to the simple fact that he already was the president, and things were better when he was president, and we fell for it once, and they're not going to fall for it again. So now that whole strategy has crumbled and their house of cards is falling, I think she's trying to do everything she can to try and change that narrative. And so far from what we've reviewed and what we've seen, she's done a horrible job at that. I think that she's just constantly been repeating the same things over and over and over as she's done this entire time, and now she's trying to do this thing to appear more black and supportive of black people.
And Democrats,
I think
to
that
me,
hurts.
Democrats are scrambling for their jobs, for their lives, because they're going to be basically liars.
I also think that her new black male agenda to help these black male voters that aren't supporting her is actually counterproductive because people are not looking too well to see loans that are forgivable for black people. Well, that's what it's framed as. 1 million loans that are completely forgivable for just black men when it's not just for black men. We read the fine print, but that's what it's being framed as. I don't think that looks good on her campaign. I don't think so.
How is a loan forgivable? Let's continue, though.
They got some forgivable loans.
Yeah, they had some
weird,
forgivable
though,
loans.
They got.
I don't
That's
think
what
a good
SBA
thing.
is.
But to give forgivable loans to 1 million people,
That's what the SBA was.
$20,000 worth.
the what?
The SBA.
SBA loans, some small business
Oh,
loans.
oh.
That's what that pretty much was.
I don't think. I just don't think that's good for the economy, me personally. But I mean,
It's not, but you know.
I guess you're
I-
gonna
you
pat
know
on
what
my
I wrote?
ass, but
It'll be interesting to see how that works out because you also have the $50,000 she pledged. So
a lot of money being given.
Is that 70,000?
it's a lot of money being given. It seems like the prices in the economy gonna go up if you do that. But let's see what Shermark got to say. I ain't never seen this man.
Be going
We
on
have seen
Fox
it before.
News. She would not sit down with Bret Baier. I'm almost certain if I were a Democratic strategist, I would be very concerned about potentially putting my candidate on Fox News where she's asked a question where she
Not if you're
doesn't appear to be
confident about your
well,
candidate.
or she doesn't answer well, I should say.
I think
Hey,
that
shut
would
up.
not
Well,
hang
I
on.
would not
There's
do
that. That is
strategically.
one way of looking at it. But I mean, I think you could also look at it strategically as this probably should have happened earlier, whether she was up or not. I mean, when you look at someone like Pete Buttigieg, he's always on Fox.
he's great.
Listen,
Yeah.
He's on Fox.
guys.
But he's good
I
at
think
it.
this may
She's
have been a
not.
little
I feel like if we took names off of people's itinerary, you would look at her itinerary and be like, she's a winner and your guy's a loser. Point blank.
Why?
Because
Great question.
of the
Why?
places she goes from the shade room to Fox. That's range, okay? Your guy doesn't do that. Your guy goes to safe spaces.
We would like to
She's
see
done far
Donald
fewer
Trump.
events.
Scott, we
But
would like to
far
see
fewer
Donald
events.
Trump
MBJ.
there on
He
He did Kevin Dillon, did he not, in this
did.
cycle? Did he not do a
He
town
wasn't
hall?
even the nominee.
Wait
then.
a minute.
Yeah, that
Ashley.
was
I mean,
years
Wasn't
ago.
the
I've
nominee.
I've seen a number of reporting from Axios and a whole bunch of other outlets talking about how Democrats are concerned that the vice president isn't doing enough in terms of interviews, isn't doing enough in terms of campaigning on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
So
I'm
clearly,
saying
folks on your side are a bit
measuring
worried about where the
against
campaign
her, I'm
is.
saying candidate for candidate, because that's what we got.
Okay.
Candidate for candidate. She has done more interviews in the short amount of time and
Really? 'Cause
in
she
a
has
more
to.
diverse
Yes,
and a more
absolutely.
diverse. Yes,
Absolutely.
really.
I
yes.
disagree.
Traditional,
What's
non-traditional.
the view from what they're not saying publicly on either side? I mean, I'm curious about how everybody sees this.
What's
I
the
think
point
a
of
lot
that,
of the
though?
feeling is that this is
I
a little too
disagree.
late, that
That's
she should have been
facts.
doing this all along, and that because she hasn't stepped into this fray, like her base was already activated the second that she was the nominee. They were so tired of Joe Biden. They were so excited. So that really Kamala Harris probably should have been doing this Fox interview about 2 months ago and defining herself. And right now, she's just really starting to define her. 'Cause like what you're seeing is that she hasn't really been able to
But in
separate
all-
herself
but-
from Biden.
But in all
and
fairness,
that's the problem
but
that
in
they're
all
dealing
fairness,
with.
she had to put together a whole campaign
Oh, this
before
has been
she
the
figured
excuse.
out what
This
she's
has been
going
the
to do.
Yeah, but you can still do
First day
interviews.
she got in.
Guys,
This is
2
the
days
same
the
excuse.
constricted
Get
time
updated
frame-
excuses.
The constricted time frame is actually something that she had to deal with. And if you actually want to talk about like who's in full-blown panic, who has said no to the CNN debate? Who said no
Who said
to
no
60
to the
Minutes?
Fox News debate?
Who said no to 60 Minutes? Who is now
Because
not
less
doing any
Trump
kind
is
of other
better for
interview
him.
then?
Less Trump is better for him.
Because your candidate
Exactly.
is
That's
I mean,
his team knows that.
says it all right there.
Less Trump. Listen. You just said. You
Go
just
ahead,
said.
Ash. Go
you
ahead,
said
go ahead.
absolutely.
You know what? I'm finna take a pause. You know what this remind me of? This right here. If y'all don't shut y'all ass up,
I just find it really ironic that as soon as he said she wasn't doing it in time, Ashley over here gets up in arms. She gets it said she's talking about range. She's talking about Trump only interviews in safe spaces and Kamala has range.
NBJ.
Like I just think that's just incorrect.
NABJ.
Trump has been in hostile environments. The NABJ, like Todd said. I mean, he's done all types of different media. He went on Aiden Ross. That's a young podcast. I mean, that wasn't even a podcast. That was just them hanging out. He hung out with Aiden Ross.
They trying to do the same thing after him, though.
That's what I'm saying.
They've been following him.
They've been trying to. He went on Nelk. He went on.
Interview with Elon.
Yeah, with the Elon. I mean, he's done all type of different interviews. He's done the mainstream media interviews. He's done different type of media platforms. And now Kamala's trying to follow suit. And Kamala's are just not as strong. I mean, she went on Call Her Daddy, and it's one of the most disliked interviews. Trump went on freaking Flagrant. He went on Nelk. He went on all these podcasts, millions of views in hours. Theo Vaughn, all these people. That's range. And y'all can say whatever you want to say. There's all that they have a very diverse audience. These are diverse audiences that you've exposed Trump to and shown that he's a personable and likable person. On the contrary, we've seen Kamala go on these interviews and be the same fake scripted person she's been since day one.
Yeah.
So you can talk about the range all you want to, but at the end of the day, we can talk about the product that's been put out within these interviews. And one candidate has shown that he's personable and likable despite the media things that they put out there. And one candidate has shown that they're fake and not authentic despite what the media's put out there.
Let's
and
forget
that's
the
just
vibes.
the fact.
Let's talk about being presidential. Let's not forget when the Ukraine president came to Donald Trump and said all the stuff he said to Donald Trump.
Who?
That was the Ukraine president. We walked
He
in
just
on
dissed
that.
him. He dissed him after that.
For real, the Ukraine president.
Yeah, I remember the scene on X. Like
You
right
seen
after
that,
that,
Randy?
it was on
Because Trump not gonna keep
giving them money,
sending all that bread.
Yeah,
Kamala
so he dissed them after
Kamala
that.
and them said we're gonna stand by them, and they right.
Yeah, that's presidential
And
to me.
Trump was like, look, man, we're gonna figure out how to end this shit. We
Yeah,
ain't gonna
yeah.
keep sending y'all money. That's what his thing. That was his resolution.
dissed
They want to
them
keep
after
fighting and to the end. And Trump said we're gonna find a way to figure this out.
And Trump was standing on business when he was talking to him. When Biden was talking to him, he was asleep. And he said, yeah, we're going to send y'all the bread.
I just wanted to say this before we click the video. It makes me happy to see they got a black Republican up there talking on this.
Shermichael. We've seen Shermichael once. This is a while ago. I don't think we knew that he was a Republican, but he's been on this panel
They
before.
said he's a
'cause-
Republican strategist.
I don't think we knew that the first time we saw it, but I've seen him on this panel like once before. I recognize him because I recognize that name, Shermichael.
Sure, Michael.
Go ahead.
Go
You
ahead,
just
Ash.
said.
Go
you
ahead.
said
Go ahead.
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Thank you for
I mean, I'm a
taking the bait.
strategist. Obviously, you're going to make the best decisions
You know
for
why?
your
That's
candidate.
why I said candidate for candidate. Ours is doing more because when your candidate gets up
And
there,
have you seen
hold
some of
up,
the
let me
clips?
finish.
All right,
Let me.
all right.
When your
Speaking, so
candidate,
let me hush up.
thank
Go
you.
ahead.
When you're just get let me stop.
ahead.
It doesn't matter if I'm black woman or not. Just don't cut me off. When your candidate speaks, it's undisciplined, unhinged, disrespectful, and it hurts him. So yes, less more is better. Less Trump is better for Donald Trump.
Thinking like a strategist.
The problem is that if he gets 4 more years, there's no more less Trump.
Oh, Ashley.
There's no more less Trump.
Both of them
So
said
is
it.
that really
Both
going
of
to
them
be the
said
message
it.
from the Harris Walls campaign?
let's have-
No, I
that
don't
they
work
think
for
is
the
going to
Harris
push them
Walls
over the
campaign.
finish
Let me
line?
ask you a serious question about her strategy. You seem to think that quantity is better than quality.
Facts.
And I know you couldn't possibly think that most of the things she has done in the last 2 weeks have been anywhere near helpful to the campaign. 60 Minutes was an abject disaster, and the little 15-second thing on The View when she couldn't think of a single thing she would have done different than Biden was the single worst soundbite she has uttered in this campaign.
real.
So quantity
So
here
let me
is
ask you
not
this.
quality.
Let me ask you
That is
this.
a fact.
Okay.
That is a fact.
I'm gonna make you a meme. Okay. because you
like
said
this.
she should have been doing more of this 2 months ago. So if she wasn't doing more of this, what would have been your talking point? The problem is what we're just trying to say is it doesn't matter which standard she meets.
Right.
If Donald Trump didn't even do a 60-minute interview, so don't put 60 minutes in my face. Whether it was good for her or bad for her, your dude won't even go
Yeah,
on.
and on net, she came out worse for it.
Wait,
He's done it before.
I mean, first of all,
Dodging makes
it
him
is
look weak.
very hyperbolic
Yes, it
to
does.
say that 60 Minutes
wasn't.
was an abject
Exactly.
disaster.
Immigration
was.
issues
It
alone
was.
was a
Scott,
disaster.
I mean, Scott,
No.
let's be real for a second. I mean, there were answers that you didn't like. It does not mean that it was an
Right.
abject
Just me, it's
disaster.
like lots of voters.
And to your point, Donald Trump wasn't there.
That's
he didn't
right.
do it at
That
all.
one.
That
But-
looks worse, in my
I mean,
opinion.
that's not my
the fact
argument.
that he didn't
Go
do
ahead,
it.
Tara. Yeah.
The fact that he didn't do 60 Minutes actually looks worse. It looks weak. And the
It
same,
does
and
look weak.
when he doesn't want to
He's
take a
done
debate,
it.
it also
Right.
looks weak. But at the end of the day, it is much worse for those voters who are on the
Somebody
fence
please
to
say it.
see more Trump.
I wanted somebody to say it, bro. To
Man,
say, bro, he already done one.
I actually saw a clip of Scott Jennings this morning. I think we should throw that in this video. I think it was a great clip. He spoke facts like he always does. He basically said that the problem with Kamala Harris is that she can't distinguish the difference between her and Joe Biden. Like everything she does is just attacking Trump, and she doesn't distinguish herself as a different candidate and what she'll do differently, and that's why she's a eternal polling disaster. Let me find that clip.
Yeah, whoever was a part of her
I
campaign.
think I heard that. I think we've
they-
done that clip. Is
Nah,
it
it's new.
I think who's ever a part of her campaign need to like tell her stop talking about Trump.
It's over, bro. It's 20. We're less than 30 days. now.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
over.
It
That's
is
what Trump's
over.
been saying. Why would I do it? And then you don't want to come on to the Fox News one? Like, let's just be fair to the American people here.
Yeah,
All right,
That's
here
all
it
he's
is.
trying to do.
Here it is. I just sent it.
it's just this shit. Is
That's
crazy.
literally a chess move. Oh, he won't accept the debate. Okay, well, let me go on Fox. That's a chess move.
don't
That's
blame
not gonna work.
It's just everybody honeymoon phase with her just ran out, bro. It's like when you first get your new little girlfriend, you want to be around her all the time.
Ah, for real though.
And then
she
when-
came out shaking that ass with me. It's like
You know,
Throw
I
that
just,
ass.
I just have never found Kamala Harris to be authentic. Like, I feel like she struggles with just being Kamala, and I feel like that's just based off the fact that she has to portray being black. And I just, like I told you, I just don't.
she acts black and Mexican.
As a person that grows up with a black mom and we're supposed to see her as a black woman, I don't look at her and see my mother in her. So to me, the whole
Exactly.
black person is lost. Because my mother is a black woman that's in a Divine Nine sorority, same as Kamala.
Same.
My mother went to Oklahoma State. She didn't go to HBCU, so they're lost there. My dad did. And he's also in a Divine Nine fraternity.
But I
And
hate that it has to get
I'm
to
just
that.
lost. I
Why
just
does it
don't
have to
see
get to
it.
that,
I just
though?
don't see it.
Why can't it just be all policies? They're the ones that's making it about vibes.
Because they don't. People want you to not vote on policy. They want you to vote off liking the person. And I just don't think in 2024,
That's not
at
logical.
the point where we are in America, we're not doing that shit no more. It's not gonna work.
Let's see what he
It's
said.
not gonna work.
If I were Harris, I wouldn't be leaning too heavily into who's hiding what kind of medical conditions of people who are or want to be the president, given her role in lying about the condition of Joe Biden for the last 4 years. That's number one. Number two, I don't think this works for her. I think I'm back in the same bucket I was earlier. You're not selling your own candidacy. You're punching Donald Trump in the same way every other Democrat we've ever heard from for the last 8-9 years has punched this guy. That's not the problem with your campaign. We've heard all the attacks on Trump. If she cannot sell her own candidacy any better than just punching on him, I'm for her. If I were in her camp, I just don't know it's going to be enough. That's my view.
Smart for the Kamala Harris campaign to continue to remind people
Honestly,
of.
just to be lectured by Democrats about you have to have mental acuity to be the president of the United States after what we just lived through for the
Hey,
last
Scott.
4 years.
Scott,
Come
you love that
on,
talking
don't lecture
point.
me about
Love
mental
it.
acuity.
That's a real.
But when Democrats, or who all,
He
you
be
included,
cooking,
who
bro.
all assured us that Joe Biden was riding unicycles and juggling knives in the Oval Office, when we know that wasn't true, and Harris was the chief cheerleader for that Don't. The lectures about the mental acuity. Come on.
Scott be cooking.
Scott be cooking. She can't
Scott
sell us.
be
She
cooking.
can't sell us on her own president candidacy, and she's not trustworthy. I mean, she's already lied to the people once. I mean, we watched 2 different interviews on 2 different days, and she said the exact same thing in both. I mean, the woman is not authentic. She's not a good speaker, and she can't sell herself.
Shit, we need to check your mental acuity.
You know what's kind of crazy to me? I'll talk to like older black women, and they literally have conservative values, but they just can't mess with
Identity
Trump.
policies.
That shit's so crazy.
You know,
You heard what the women on this panel said. I mean, that's all they give a fuck about. They don't care. Oh, it's not about the policy, Scott. You love that talking point. That's a real talking point. You just said Joe Biden. Kamala was saying Joe Biden was good this whole time. Now she's talking about Trump's not mentally okay when he's obviously talking to millions of people daily.
Without stuttering, pausing, and
Yeah, guys, I'm done with this shit.
I feel like that's a lost talking point. I think they need to stop hammering on that. I think the guy has not had a break. I mean, 2 assassination attempts, grinding nonstop around the clock, dropping all this different stuff, being hammered and ridiculed day in and day out by the media. I mean, at what point do you guys give Trump any credit? Like
they're not. It's over.
it's because
Seriously.
he represent white supremacy in
Yeah,
their eyes.
that's
That's the problem.
I'm just done with that talking point.
That's the only talking point they got. White supremacy.
Let us
Give
know what
me
y'all think,
something else,
guys.
bro.
The Fox News interview is going to be tomorrow. Be looking for that. We're going to have that on here, guys.